Priceless Bride, and this is my journey to becoming a Proverbs 31 woman. So, last week I talked to you guys a little bit about my struggles as it pertains to getting healthy and sugar addiction. This week I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my journey as it pertains to me being a mommy, and most specifically a mother of two. And sometime a little short while ago, a friend of mine asked me about what it was like having two kids so close in age, because my oldest is 2 and my youngest is 6 months, almost 7 months. And so I really was excited about her asking me because I had some struggles. The last few months of my pregnancy, I was really struggling, for lack of a better word, really struggling with what I was going to do as far as would I be doting on the newborn more? Would my time with my 2-year-old come to an end? Would he feel like I wasn't really paying him any attention? Would he miss me? Would our quality time kind of disappear? I struggled over that for a long time because I heard all these horror stories of moms who, kind of had those issues. Like the older kids were feeling like they weren't really paid attention to. They kind of were left out, or it was difficult trying to find a balance. So I was like on the internet, scouring the internet like a troll, trying to find information, any kind of information on now becoming a mother of multiples. But it was to no avail. It was really kind of sad, actually. So I was kind of struggling, and I don't even really know when the light bulb came on or when it clicked in my head, but I really kind of felt like a lot of what I was reading in the Bible was really helping me to kind of direct myself towards what my goal was to make sure. My goal was to make sure that my oldest son didn't feel neglected or turned out in any kind of way, but also to bring this new person into our world. So my friend asked me after several months of kind of finding my way, and I was really happy about it. So I was able to kind of remember all these really amazing things that happened the weeks after I brought my son home, my second son. So the first thing that I thought was really very important was not really to force my son Caleb, who was my firstborn, really force my second son Joshua on him. Like, oh, you have to say hi, or you have to love him, or you have to kiss him and hold him and hug him and please him, and he's the most important person right now. Because I felt like saying all those things and doing that and really kind of forcing Joshua on Caleb was diminishing Caleb in some way. I don't really know why, but I kind of felt like making Joshua too big of a deal right off the bat diminished Caleb, would possibly diminish him in some way. So I didn't do any of that. In fact, I didn't introduce Caleb to Joshua until we brought the baby home. Caleb stayed with my family while we got ourselves together in the hospital for like 3 or 4 days. Super side note, that hospital in La Jolla, I was like, can we stay one more day? Like, am I gonna get lunch before we leave here? Y'all trying to check me out at 11, but lunch is at 12. Can I get a menu? But, it was amazing. So that first few days of bonding was really instrumental for me and Joshua. So when I got home and they finally brought my son home, I made sure that I didn't have Joshua. I didn't say anything about Joshua. I spent maybe 5 minutes just hugging and loving and kissing on Caleb because I missed him. But I also knew that this was the last moment of it just being us two. So I just loved him and hugged him and kissed him and just welcomed him home. And then I went and got Josh. And it was kind of rough because there were other people around. So I made sure not to make sure that nobody forced Joshua onto Caleb. So we kind of showed him Josh, and he was kind of like, what is this? What is this really? And after a certain amount of time, a couple minutes really, he was really inquisitive. He was excited. He was like, what is this really? Can I hold it? Can I touch it? And so he kind of grabbed him, and I just thought it was the cutest thing in the world. So the meeting went really, really well. So it was really sweet. So from there, I used mostly affirming words with Caleb, and I also had to kind of encourage my husband to do the same. So instead of saying no and don't, actually, honestly, I think I might have found a little snippet of this information on somebody's blog or on a website somewhere. I just don't remember where. So I try not to use words like don't and no to him. I only tried to use positive words, especially when it came to Joshua. Like, I wouldn't be like, oh, don't touch him. Oh, no, Caleb, don't do that. So I tried to be really calm and like, oh, Caleb, instead of touching him in his head, try touching his feet. Oh, Caleb, oh, you want to give that to the baby? Oh, that's so sweet. But I think we'll leave your toys in another room, and you can play with Joshua by yourself. Or he would be like, I want to hold Joshua. So I'm like, oh, okay, Caleb, if you want to hold him, come and sit down, and you can hold baby in the bed. So instead of saying, don't touch his head like that, or don't bring those toys in him, he can't play with that, or oh, you can't hold the baby, no, you can't, no this, no that. I would try to really, it was a lot of thought, it was a lot of brain power. I would use different kind of language to make sure that he knew that it was okay to be inquisitive, it was okay to explore, it was okay to love him, because he's a baby. He's still a baby too, so he has to learn. So I tried not to villainize. That's another one of the things that I did. If he did something that was a little bit too much, I tried not to villainize his attempts at doing the right thing. So if he was curious, I would try not to shout or startle him or react in a way that was perceived any kind of way as aggressive, because I didn't want him to have any negative associations with his behavior in Joshua or his behavior in me. So I also had to get my husband on board with that, because babies are incredibly vulnerable, but so also is the relationship between siblings. So instead of like jumping every time he did something that was strange, the act was already done. So I would just be like, oh, okay, Caleb, come here. Let me show you a different way to do that. Or, oh, Caleb, come here. That actually wasn't very safe, but you can do this instead. Which brings me to my next point of introducing biblical principles to Caleb that he could use to interact with his brother, but also other people. So some of them are using words like loving, gentle, respectful, honorable, proud. I'm very proud of you. And I use these words like regular language. Caleb will use loving touches. We use gentle touches with him. Caleb, that wasn't very loving, but this is loving. Oh, Caleb, that is so loving. Look at you. You love your brother. And again, these things help to affirm him. Also, from Love and Respect, which is Emerson Eggers' book, men communicate or have a different communication style than women, and they use respect talk a lot more than women use love speak. So in an attempt to try to bring out this man that I'm trying to mold, I would use Caleb, that's not respectful. Caleb, that's disrespectful. Caleb, oh gosh, that was so respectful. With a lot of different things that he would do or does now. so that he would learn what is appropriate instead of things that are not appropriate. And for somebody who has limited language, even somebody who is a foreign person, saying things that you can't do is not helpful because they're not learning, well, what is appropriate. So that can be kind of frustrating to someone, especially someone as young as a small person, when you're constantly telling them no, 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 or can't, or don't, but you're not really explaining, well, what can you do? What is appropriate? So I try to think about that a lot as I interact with the boys to show them, oh, this is appropriate, this is acceptable, but this is not acceptable, this is not appropriate. And something that's really cool that I've learned from dealing with my young boys is also how to interact with my husband. So if I'm praising my babies for doing good things, I'm like, wow, do I do that with my husband? Do I show that type of gratitude and appreciation to my husband? Or do I just take it as, oh, he knows me? Well, even if he does know, the appropriate thing, the acceptable thing, the loving thing, the respectful thing to do would be to express what I'm thinking. So I really appreciate my sons for that, that I'm learning about how to treat men, because I'm raising men. Then I want to be strong men of honor, men of God, and that will make good husbands someday. Yes, I'm raising my children to be good husbands. So that was really a really big thing, using really positive language. Another really big thing I did was keep Caleb's routine exactly the same when I brought Joshua home. I would put Joshua down about 7:30. Caleb's bedtime is 8, so I would put Joshua down and then start Caleb's routine, which is dinner with mommy and daddy, and story time, prayers, and then bedtime. And I wanted that to kind of be like, oh, the baby isn't taking away everything. The baby isn't taking away mommy and daddy. So the things that we did as a family, I tried to continue, at least until he got used to it. Because, I mean, that's not really realistic to put a kid in another room and then be like, ooh, let's have fun now. The baby's gone. Because that's crazy, right? It was just long enough to solidify Caleb's place in our family so that he wouldn't feel like he was abandoned in any way, or that this baby was changing very many things. And my mindset behind that was, you already know that you're going to have to take care of a newborn because they're a newborn, right? So since you already know that you're going to have to do that, that's a part of you. You can't really let that consume you. So we just did his routine. And eventually, Joshua got on that same nighttime routine, but it wasn't like immediate and it wasn't like a force. Anytime I dealt with Caleb, I tried to make sure at the beginning stages that it was just Caleb and I wasn't holding Joshua and dividing my attention. Because I already know I'm going to have to feed my baby. I'm going to have to change his diaper. I'm going to have to make sure he's safe. I want to play with him. I want to kiss him. I want to look at him. But I still have this 2-year-old who is young and impressionable and needs to make sure that he still has mommy's love. Because that's what I heard a lot from my friends, that once the newborn came, the older kids were like, well, where am I? I miss mommy's attention. I miss our time together. So I took a lot of that information and made a mental plan of everything that I really wanted to do. Another one was, gosh, and I still do it even now. My son is almost 7 months old. Get ready an hour and a half. Whenever I'm planning to leave the house, I get ready an hour and a half before I have to leave. So, with one baby, you could be like, oh, you can kind of muddle your way through. But with 2, it's like, gosh, you're going to forget something. It's 2 sizes of diapers. You got to get changes of clothes. You got to make sure everybody's eating because somebody's going to cry in the car. It's like mayhem. Every time you're leaving the house, it's like a fire sale. So if I get ready an hour and a half, I know that we have 30 minutes to eat. Then I can bathe everybody and make sure everybody's dressed and good to go. And then it makes room for all the hiccups that inevitably occur. So if I have a 12 o'clock appointment and it takes me like 10 or 15 minutes to get there, then I knew I was going to get ready at 10. So it was just like, oh, and sometimes I'm late, but usually I'm pretty dead on with that hour and a half. That hour and a half is life. And we don't get up early because I'm not about that at all. Our general wake-up time is 8 o'clock. So I don't make any appointments before 10 because I know I'm setting myself up for failure. So that was really kind of a big thing. Let me see. Something for me personally and professionally was getting back on track with my career or my trajectory of wherever I'm going, whatever I'm choosing to do. I think something that people may not realize about stay-at-home moms, maybe you do, I don't know, but we are making a huge sacrifice by putting our careers on hold to mold these little minds and these little people into becoming whoever they're supposed to be. So when I have to weigh that and weigh the pros and cons of being a mom and not doing anything else or not having a full outside career of the home, it's like, all right, well, I believe that my career will always be there, but how often will my kid be 2? How often will it be 4? How often will I see him learn to walk? Or how often will I be able to be there when he gives his brother his first kiss on the forehead, or when he decides he wants to read to his brother, or when they start having a conversation in real words that are intelligible, or even when they have baby babble? How often will those first moments be there? But I'll be able to go back to that career. The dollars will be there later. So I have to weigh them often, especially when I'm feeling undervalued, or maybe I'm making things out to be a little bit greater than they are. I have to remember that this is really important to me and my husband, is creating an atmosphere for these kids to really kind of flourish. And I'm not knocking or throwing shade to working moms at all, because my mom worked her butt off as a single mom, raising 3 women, and she did it. We had integrity, we had values, we have good character. Like, she did it. But the path that I chose to take was to step away from things, too many things that would divide me from the attention I wanted to give to my kids. So that was, something I chose. And maybe, in the very near future, I'll be able to juggle them a little bit more. But for me, I can't. I feel like I just can't do that, because I'll get overwhelmed and something will suffer. And I don't want it to be them. So I really just wanted to share with you some of the things that I learned about becoming a mom of 2 boys, 2 kids. And I hope it helps you, especially if you're struggling with the day-to-day aspect of, a newborn and multiple other children or whatever. Help you kind of put it in perspective, because that was me. And my girlfriend, she was obviously going from a single kid to multiples. So if it helped you, leave some comments in the comment section. If you got anything new, leave some comments in the comment section. I will be going back to talk about what I got from becoming a mom of 1. And again, I do want to add a little bit of extra information, because you're probably like, well, who is she or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I've been taking care of kids for, gosh, I really hate sharing my age, but like 17 years. I've had a passion for kids for 17 years. And I just love kids, and I think that it's very important. I like reading a lot of psychological studies. I like talking to other people who make professions of taking care of kids, like teachers and doctors and things. So this has been one of my most enjoyable topics for almost 20 years. But now I get to finally practice on my kids, and no holds barred. Nobody telling me, "Oh, that's my kid." Da 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 da. Okay, good. That's your kid. I'm gonna do me with my kid, and whatever makes you happy, you do that. But this is what I've learned in my time. So I am a Priceless Bride. Thank you for coming with me on my journey to become a Proverbs 31 woman. Continue to check out my videos, subscribe, and if you find anything that's helpful, share it with your friends. Peace. What do you think? That's Joshua. He was in Mommy's tummy.
He's seriously rolling on his eyes.
Did you like your brother? Where you get that from?
What are all these boxes for?
Baby. Yeah, that's your baby. You want to see your baby? Okay. Grandma's going to bring your baby over. Look at your baby. That's your baby. You give your baby hugs? You want to give your baby hugs? Okay, we'll give your baby a hug. You can see him closer later, but give him a hug if you want to. Go ahead. No? Okay.